All right. What's going on, everybody? Wait.
Oh, my God.
Here we go.
Here we go
All
again,
right.
everybody.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of Cap Sports. I am Colton alongside my boy Preston.
What's up, everybody?
We got Justin in the back. We got Peyton in the back.
What's going on, y'all?
So, all right. So episode 3 tonight. So a few of the things we're going to be diving into is obviously a recap of this last weekend's games, and then we're going to jump into the upcoming weekend's games for college football, talk about some NFL stuff. NBA season started, touch on those. And then, kind of let y'all get to know us a little bit better. So we're going to talk about ourselves a little bit, not too much, so we don't bore you. Even though everything we talk about, it related to us.
Some of it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Some of it's you'll fall asleep to. But
probably, actually, I don't know. We've got some pretty good stories.
We got some good stuff.
We go way back. So we got some good stuff.
Yep, good stuff lined up for you guys. So first we're going to start off with the
Bama, Missouri.
Yeah, convincing win for Alabama.
34-0.
Yeah, it was a very slow start to the game. Defense came out buzzing, and that was so awesome to see.
Yeah, I know. That's my expectations for them every game this season and every game.
It's 2 weeks in a row that they've really come out.
Obviously we did lose to Tennessee, but they looked great.
They showed promise. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they're finally building on something, and hope that trend continues.
I did not think we were going to get a shutout this year. Yeah. By the way they've been playing.
Why is that?
Just by the way the defense has been playing, yeah.
No, this was my expectations for them, bro.
No, talent-wise, yes. Expectations, yeah. But with a team like Missouri, who's been good all year, started out ranked high.
Yep, high as 9, I believe, yep.
Yeah, so they started out ranked high. They had an ugly win against Auburn last weekend, so, coming in, I know Brady Cook got hurt. Went to the hospital in the Auburn game. I didn't even know that until watching the Bama Missouri game. He went to the hospital during the game, came back, and then led him into a win. So he obviously came into Bama, a little banged up. Took him out, second drive, he was out.
I don't believe it's quite that early, but yeah.
It was pretty early.
Yeah, it was early in the game for sure.
Yeah, but so we took advantage of a backup quarterback coming in, threw 3 interceptions. But still, defense is flying around. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, no, this defense, I'm glad that we finally seen it 2 weeks in a row. And they look great. I hope that trend continues. I hope they continue to build up on what
going into a bye week with some momentum. Yeah, for sure.
It's huge. Some of the things that, we kind of harped on early in the year was, not blitzing, not enough pressure, playing a lot of soft zone.
Yeah.
So they've worked on that, and we've seen them improve. It's been great to see. It makes it easier on them. It makes it, in a sense, easier on the offense.
It makes it a whole lot easier for us watching.
That is the
seeing the linebackers and defensive line getting through, chasing the quarterback all the way around. It's been really fun.
Lots
to see.
of sacks. Again, you said 3 interceptions. That was great to see. They look the part. They're not just.
And on the flip side, you got the offense, who started off strong in the season.
Yep.
And then the past 2-3 weeks, they've just been mediocre.
I still feel like Milroe has regressed.
Yeah.
He was, 16 of 26? No touchdown passes or rushing touchdowns this past game. But
he had a rushing touchdown, yeah.
Yeah. The running game looked fantastic. That we finally got to see some of them dogs get after it and run the daggone ball.
You did. There were still some instances throughout the game where you're like, we could run the ball, get it going. I want 10 to 12 carries in the first half.
Yeah.
But a lot of those rushes obviously were in garbage time, late in the third, going into the fourth quarter. We didn't throw the ball that much, but still, I want 15 carries by halftime.
Yeah. But either way, I agree with you.
It's still good to see.
I was impressed. We got to see a lot of Jam and Justice Haynes.
Dude, that hit. Justice Haynes
stick
delivered,
knocked the kid out
because that safety got low.
Yeah, he did.
He got real low, and Justice Haynes met him down there and kept on trucking, and then he took it to the house. Beautiful.
Yeah. So I hope we continue to lean on that. I do want to see more of Milroe passing wise, but my God, seeing those guys tote the rock is just a beautiful thing.
Richard Young coming in late, toting the rock.
Yep. Yeah, man, he busted off one long, and I was really hoping he was going to take that to the house.
Yeah.
But he got hawked down halfway.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, Milroe, going back to him for a second, it looks weird. It's almost like going back to what he looked like last year. But the past few weeks, I've noticed, more is that when he takes his drop backs, he is standing still.
Oh, yeah.
He gets his 3-step drop.
Flat-footed.
He gets his 5-step drop.
Yep.
And then he freezes. Like, he's not sitting there and waiting.
Bouncing, keep the feet moving.
Yeah, because before, like, he would sit there and bounce back a little bit. The first couple reads wasn't there. He's gone. But now it's like he's either being told, like, hey, see it a little bit longer.
Yeah, I don't know. He needs to find a good medium. To start the season, he was over reliant on
the run.
The run. And then now the past 4 weeks, he's not using that skill set that he has.
No, when he's running from a sack. Yeah. He's not running like giving himself more options, more time to see a potential pass downfield. It's like he's stepping back and sitting there waiting to see if anybody comes open, and then he either gets sacked or he has to scramble for his life.
Yeah.
It's not because we've seen him do it, the way that's been productive and successful.
Yeah.
But it's like the past couple of weeks, he just sits back there and waits for something to come open. And even if it is open, there's not a guarantee that he hits them.
Yeah, okay, so yeah. So he's had some bad overthrows lately.
Very bad.
I don't know what's up with that either. The deep throw, the short throw, hits, great throws. That medium throw is
it's almost like 15 to 30 yards. I say 15 to 25.
Yeah, 15, yeah.
He's overthrowing, but the deep ball, he'll just let that thing fly and let his guys go under it. Those underneath routes, those slants.
And
he's on the money.
It's one thing for the misses to be bad, but it's the fact when some of our guys have been wide open.
When Ryan Williams doesn't have anybody when they pan the throw after Milroe throws it and they pan the throw and Ryan Williams is the only one in the screen.
Yeah.
He's got to be hit.
That makes sense. And
he's got to be hit.
It's not like even a defender is in Milroe's face, like making it hard.
No.
Yeah. Like you're just
simple comeback routes, simple drag routes.
You're not making the throw.
Yeah.
So I still believe in him at this point, but we've got to see some major progress.
I still think we got to run the ball more. Yeah, it was successful.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of that was in garbage time when we really didn't need it. It was nice seeing the defense come up with the goal line, staying there late.
That was awesome.
To keep the goose egg on the board.
Brought the starters back in.
Yeah, that shutout is huge for a team like us.
Yeah, for morale.
Momentum.
Yeah, going into
LSU in the bye week.
Absolutely, yeah. Big momentum going into the bye week. It's old Bama football, defensive-wise, that we're seeing. It's like, bow up, stick your neck in there. You are not getting in this end zone.
I mean, they were flying all around the field.
All game long.
All game. So I feel like they've really heard the criticism and took it to heart.
From this podcast.
Yeah.
Somebody's been listening to
we
this
can
podcast.
tell y'all are big listeners, big fans, so we appreciate that.
Yeah. But it's huge to see. And, going into the bye week against LSU, LSU's also got a bye week. Played A&M at A&M this past week. And
looked great the first half. Up 17-7 at halftime.
But A&M stayed with the running game. I think I texted you this on the side. Or we were actually together watching the game.
Yeah, we were together watching the game.
So A&M stuck with the run game.
And
the entire game.
Peppered them.
Yeah. Just death by 1,000 cuts.
Yep.
And I feel like if Bama was in that situation, they would have gave up on the run.
They would have, for sure.
Which is tough to see because it worked for A&M. Obviously not the same player, same scheme or whatever. But it's just they got a 2 running back system. Their second quarterback that came in later, he ran the ball effective with his feet. Mm-hmm. So it's like we got those same pieces. It's like if we just got to put it together for 4 quarters, we could see a lot more 34-point games. Not saying we'd not give up a touchdown or a score, but like 34 points isn't hard to get for Alabama with what they have.
Not at all. No, they're fully capable. And it's, again, with us playing LSU next weekend after the bye this weekend, I really hope they are watching that film from this previous weekend against A&M and seeing what, they can be capable of.
Yeah.
A&M's a great team.
LSU's a good team.
Yeah, LSU's a great team.
That new head coach over there in Texas A&M, Mike Elko, has really just turned that program around into something that they should be, being a Texas school, having all the big high school football recruits. He's done a good job.
Yeah, now with the in-state rival being in your conference now, it just means more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's a fiery coach.
He is.
Like
yeah.
he was.
I like it.
I mean,
He was.
about his cojones putting a new QB, getting Connor Wigman out of the game.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, Wegman did not look good at all.
No, he didn't.
No, he had I believe he only had he had less than 50 passing yards for the game.
Where on the other side, Nussmeier had 50 attempts.
Yeah. Well, I believe 24 or 25 of 50.
Yeah.
300 or 400 passing yards.
Yeah, but in a game like that, like you said, bringing in a second guy, and that offense started boosting.
Yeah, I mean, bringing another guy. I mean, he only threw, I believe, 2 or 3 passes.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
He ended up passing for more than Wegman. He had 2 or 3 attempts for 68 yards, I believe.
I don't think LSU was prepared for their starter being yanked halfway through the game.
But running wise, he did do really good.
He's fast as crap.
So he's someone to watch for in the future, without a doubt.
Yeah, 100%. But big game coming up against LSU. This is make or break for Bama, for both teams, really.
Yeah, it is. I mean, whoever loses is not making the playoffs.
This is the elimination game.
It is. Whoever loses is not making playoffs, without a doubt. No matter what you do after that.
Can't do it.
Yeah, you're not getting 3 losses and then still making it.
No, not with the way teams are this year. It's so top heavy. They came out with the AP poll college football playoff predictor.
Yeah.
As good as A&M's been, they're not high up in the rankings.
No, they're not. Yeah, so we're 6 days out from the official college football committee playoff poll releasing next week. Funny enough, I think it's real bold that the first official drop will come out the same night the election is happening. So
it's also NFL trade deadline too. So
right,
yeah, big day.
Big day Tuesday.
Yeah,
man, I can't wait to see or hear the viewership numbers on all those things. Which one's going to get the most pull? I'm saying college football playoff.
I'll have to think election.
Probably long term over hours. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but in that short window of 30 minutes to an hour where the first poll drops, it's going to be them for sure.
Right, yeah. First half of the night is definitely going to be on the CFP. And then, the latter half is going to be on that election.
And what's a shame for at least this year is the Pac-12 is still operating, but it has Colorado, Arizona State, and Utah. Hold on. Oregon State and Washington are the only 2 Pac-12 teams. So they automatically go to the Pac-12 championship. And
right.
That winner will be going to do the playoff.
You think so?
I mean, I would think.
I don't.
Are they considered a power conference anymore since there's only 2?
I think so. Are they not? I mean, it's
really? No. I mean, for one, Washington is not playing good ball at all this season.
So I took a screenshot on this stuff. Took a screenshot of what the 12-team college football playoff system would look like. So you got the 5 highest ranked conference champions receive automatic bids.
Right.
Then you got the 4 highest ranked conference champions are seeded numbers 1 through 4 and receive the first round buys. You got the 7 at-large teams determined by the remaining highest ranked teams, and then seeds 5 through 8 host first round games. So I guess even if you win your conference, it doesn't matter unless you're one of the highest remaining ranks.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, because, you got very bad conferences out there. You get a 5-loss conference champion over a 2-loss SEC team.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
No, it's not. So that allows, the actual best and deserving teams to be in the top 12.
100%. And going off of how this year's going, the playoffs going to be fun to watch.
This year, out of all years for this to happen, for them to go to 12-team format, they picked a really good year because you got some teams that you never would have expected. Indiana, to start.
Right. Who says they're not a football school now?
Yeah. No, they are playing great ball. So
Indiana, BYU.
Yep. So they're all there right now. So I hope it plays out. People always talk about the 4-team and who's going to be in this, that, and the other. And they felt like once it went to 12, it wouldn't be as big as a problem. I think it's going to be more so a problem about who gets in because there's going to be a lot more teams in that.
Because we're at the halfway point of the season.
We are. So teams through that 10 through 15, 10 through 20 range who all roughly have the same record, maybe roughly same strength of schedule,
right,
are all going to be vying for that 11th and 12th spot.
Well, and there's that thing too that it's like, well, this team beat this team. Well, that team lost to this team, and this team beat that team. Like, you're going to have those scenarios go through.
So I wish, though, okay, so, prior to the committee, we had the BCS, and that was, computer generated. It took in all these data points, like.
And it was just two teams.
Yeah. So they took the computers took in all the data points of like the who the teams are, how many like 4 and 5 star recruits it had, their strength of schedule, quality of wins, yada yada, right? And people didn't like that because it maybe it wasn't quite fair. So now we've gone to this committee, and for me, I feel like since this committee has come into place, there's been a lot of biases. So like I truly wish we would keep the committee, and they would just make they would make a list of 25 teams without necessarily a ranking. Just say if you had to pick 25 teams without any particular order, who are the top 25 teams, again, without any particular order, and name them. Say, okay, this is a list of 25 teams who are the best in the country.
Yep.
And then take those 25 teams and then utilize a BCS style computer generated system that would then order those teams, and out of those 25 teams, then pick the top 12. So use a committee to determine who 25 best teams are.
Right. Use
those teams to then put them into the computer, because obviously it's been 10, 12 years since we've stopped using that. Well, obviously computers have advanced. We have highly capable AI now to better break down those data points and analysis and just fine tune it. So give us that. And so I wish it'd just be a combination of things. Nice catch.
Got him.
And so again, make a list of 25 teams, input that data of those teams.
But I think a lot of that would be tough too, is because it's like that. Would they break that down off of history? Because it's like a lot of that stuff would be, like you go off of, Alabama's been in the playoff ever since it started. Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State. Like, you got your blue bloods football-wise, but then it's like, would it go into effect, like, without anybody being played? Because, beginning of the year, they had who's your final playoff predictions?
Yeah.
Just about every analyst out there had Florida State being either national champions or being in the playoff, and they've been dog water all year.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying though, like each week now that the official polls will be starting.
Oh, you're saying going now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Say that first next time.
I mean, it made sense.
I'm slow.
Yeah, you're focusing on other things.
I am. It's okay.
So yeah, each week, like the committee will continue to say, okay, this is our updated 25 list without any particular order. Take those teams, put them into.
There's still going to be a couple teams that get their feelings hurt whenever the final playoff thing comes out.
I'm just saying, ultimately though, like I feel like doing a system like that and using a combination of the old way and the new way and making it together would really help fine tune. It would remove the bias for who should be at the top.
No, for sure, yeah.
Previous 4, now top 12. Picking favorites. You just pick the 25 teams who are willing of being in the top 25 regardless of ranking, dumping those into a computer, and the computer determines, okay, out of this 25, here's, mathematically who should be
best 12.
Yeah. I feel like that would work really well.
I've heard this posed before, so I'll just touch on it. So what would y'all think if college football decided to move in like the direction of like an NBA, like just one giant league across the country? You have like a West versus an East, and then it's just like rankings of the best 6 in the West, all FBS teams.
Right. We just divide it straight down the middle.
It's non-subjective, no committee. It's just
I would like it.
West, best East, or best West 6, best East 6.
I would like it, but I feel like it'd be way too hard to do because there's so many teams.
I feel like, just thinking off the top of my head, the East side would have so many more better teams.
Yeah, there's so many teams to break that down into who the top 6 is. Honestly,
because there's 6 really good teams in the SEC.
Yeah. So I mean, it like maybe in that same line of thinking, if there was an East and a West, like let's say you have 10 teams from the East, and then they have their own little playoff. 10 teams from the West have their own little playoff against one another, and then maybe the 2 winners, from each.
Then you're looking at like
division.
a 20-game season.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to get it down to it, like that'd be insane the amount of games they'd have to play.
I got a feeling that there's going to be a players' association before long because they don't want to play all these games. They'll be sitting out. And
NCAA is it's about to go like full
semi-pro.
Semi-pro.
Nick
amateur
Saban just needs to be the NCAA commissioner.
Yeah,
100%.
I think he'd be a fair commissioner.
I do too.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I think he can definitely.
I think he would be very fair.
The Godfather.
I think that he would, while I think he would keep NIL, I think he would put a much larger control on it. What I would hope to see him do, which I would, this is me, what I would like to see happen for NIL is I would keep NIL because players deserve their money, they deserve to get paid, but I would not allow schools to have collectives. I wouldn't allow them to be able for boosters and schools and whoever to create their own funds to then pay these players. Like NIL to me and its premise whenever it was originally created, announced and brought up was for these guys to use their name, image, and likeness, for a company, a real company, a brand to come out and say, hey, come be in a commercial, come be our sponsor, for Chick-fil-A or whomever, like for Nike, come be a brand ambassador. And like, that's to me how it should have been used. But that's not what happens whatsoever. Like it's just schools and boosters creating these collectives and funds to pay the players.
Well, they're making stuff that they've been doing in the past legal.
Yeah. But that's the biggest thing for me for NIL that I would get rid of is like schools can't do that. If you want players to have NIL and get paid, great, they deserve it. Let true companies and brands use them in their name, image, and likeness.
Yeah. I don't know how they ever got around that. Honestly, like how did they ever let that fly at NCAA?
I don't know.
Because when it was first starting, you would see those little Gatorade commercials or whatever. Or ads on Instagram when they would post something like drink your Gatorade and they held a bottle. Like you don't really see that much.
No,
I don't know how they ever let that fly. I guess.
Not at all. You don't see any like they're like a
you
few.
got Quinn Ewers in a Dr. Pepper commercial.
Yeah, that's to say just a few Dr. Pepper commercials. That I've seen over the years.
Caleb Williams was in it, I think, last year.
I saw a DJ.
Youngale.
Yeah, at the start of the season, he was in a gas station or 7-Eleven commercial. For down in Florida.
That's really it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that was low. It got big on social media, but it wasn't like a national broadcast commercial.
Yeah.
So that's some of the things I would like to see. Just put a better control.
We're in the very, very early stages of all that, and Saban said it a couple times on game day. It's like it needs to be constructed to where it's not as chaotic as it is now.
Right. Yeah, it's still the Wild West right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whoever's got the most money is going to get the best players. And that's like, for these players that, let's say for Bama, for instance, you got Ryan Williams who's going off. He's only 17, by the way. Yeah, he's still 17. So you got this kid who's a freak, phenomenal athlete. Bama's not having they're having a good year, but they're not having the best year. So it's like when the season's over, it's going to be an auction house.
Yes.
It's going to be because, Caleb Downs left. Bama had a good year last year. He left and goes to Ohio State. So it's like you get a freak athlete, like Ryan Williams, who's so young, who
probably has never seen money like that in front of him in everyone's life.
Right. So he's making what, $1.7 million now at Bama?
Yeah. Who's
to say Texas doesn't come in next year and say, I'll give you 2.
Or 2, yeah.
Yeah. Or Ohio State says, we'll give you 5.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no concrete statute. It's like you have this one player, you better enjoy him for the year that you have because there's no guarantee that he comes back next year because somebody's going to open up the checkbook.
Yeah, because
especially with the new portal, they don't have to sit out a year.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, so many schools are probably about to become development, like farm schools for the bigger schools.
Which is insane to think about.
Yeah. Like, thanks for developing them for a year. You've got great coaches. We got to see what he's capable of before we committed to him. Yeah, he's as good as Build, and now we want him. Here's a check.
Yeah. Which also, I'm not saying it will. It just popped in my head, but it's like, does this potentially ruin the product that comes into the NFL?
I surely hope not. Like, there'll always be those guys that are driven, and money's just, a good consequence of, playing well. But definitely, I think it could ruin the drive of some of these guys.
Yeah, because you got to think these college athletes are making a couple $1 million. Yeah. Well, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll go get drafted. I want to get drafted. But it's like all these kids got millions of dollars now. They piss it all away. Because you got some good talented players that may not pan out in the NFL. And you got these hard-nosed working players that are in college who really strive to be in the NFL. And then they get overlooked because you got all these big money-making players in college.
Yeah.
So it's like, does it ruin the product going in the NFL?
I get where you're coming from. It could. I don't quite think so, because the best of the best, I mean, there's barely 1,000 players in the NFL in a given season. So the best of the best are getting drafted each year.
Because you can always still, groom players.
Yeah, and think, I mean, there's probably just as many undrafted players in the NFL who start and play and have important roles as there are players who are drafted in the top 3 rounds.
No doubt.
So, I mean, those, the undrafted are the ones who probably aren't getting very much NIL.
Well, it's a different game, too, because the NFL, I mean, they don't just put guys out there for how you were in college. Like, we all know that. But it's like, whenever you get into the NFL, if you're willing to do what's asked of you, progress, learn the playbook, and show that you are getting better and performing at a high level, then you're still going to get that shot.
Yeah, for sure. No, so, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I don't feel like that it's going to have as large of an impact because
there's still some bad players that go to teams.
Yeah, there are. I don't know. There's got to be a control in it, and I hope that it gets figured out in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Do they go to a contract system to where it's almost like, the past couple of years when you could transfer, you had to sit out a year. But now do universities give you a contract? It's like, look, you get this money, but you're also staying here for 2 years.
Yeah. That'd be a good idea.
I got to imagine they're going to make it legally binding.
It's got to be.
The only thing that's weird about it, so like not many people know this, like, so, for a college athlete, you get, when you're offered a scholarship, people assume like, oh, they're getting a 4-year full ride, scholarship. And that's not the case. Like you're actually like pretty much given a review year after year. So like, let's say you got, your first year as a freshman, and let's say you get playing time, regardless of sport. We're just talking about football here though. So for football, like, you got a lot of playing time. You did, fairly well. At the end of the year, though, they're still going to say, like, okay, yeah, we're going to renew your scholarship for the next year. And then the same thing will happen the following year. But let's say you again, you're a freshman and you got to play, but you didn't do great. So then the school may come back to you and be like, hey, yeah, we're not going to renew your scholarship for your sophomore year. Or we're not going to give you as much scholarship money-wise as we did last year because you didn't perform the way, we thought you were, or maybe in your best interest to transfer, yada, yada. But, like, whenever you're in high school as an athlete and you're getting recruited, you're getting offered scholarships, it is not a straight up 4-year guarantee. Obviously, that is the case for a lot of the players. They end up getting those 4 years, but it is a year by year, review based on your performance. So even for the ones who don't see the field, it's based on how well you practice and how much effort and a bunch of different.
If you're a good student,
a bunch of different circumstances. But yeah, it's a year by year review. So,
as it should be.
Yeah. So I like that aspect of it.
I mean, they're treating it like a job. I mean, if you
which it is
screw off at your job, next year it's like you've done nothing for us.
Yeah.
So
you're not getting a raise, probably getting fired.
Right. Yeah. But one of those teams that I hope could make a run here at the end of the season. I like to think they're the hottest team in the state of Alabama right now.
Oh, boy. FBS, so.
Some of you may not have heard of them, but they've been on a couple primetime Wednesday night games this season. That's the Jacksonville State Gamecocks.
Yeah.
They're trending upwards right now.
Proud alumni right here.
Well, I didn't graduate. I got some hardware. I got some blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Live and breathe and will die by Jacksonville State University.
Yeah, no, they've got a great program.
Rich Rodriguez, baby.
You got to be there in some of the best years. You got to go to a couple of
I did
championships. Got to see when they beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, my first game. So I was a freshman there in 2010, and my very first game. So I was on the equipment staff there, and didn't know what that entailed at all. People just thought I was going to be
clothes washer.
Well, I get called a water boy more than that, but was not the water boy.
Bitch.
Yeah. So getting now is like I didn't know what this meant. Like, what's an equipment manager? So now get there and learn the ropes, learn the tools of the trade. Equipment staff is behind the scenes people.
Yep.
People that don't get acknowledged all the time. You got your training staff, you got your video staff. The equipment managers, if you don't get noticed, you're doing your job.
Right.
Type thing. And my very first game at Jacksonville State was on the road at Ole Miss when we came back and beat them in double overtime, 49-48.
With Cody Blanchard at the helm.
Cody Blanchard. Shout out Cody Blanchard. True freshman.
I used to play baseball with him, so I know him. Great athlete. Came from Coleman here in Alabama.
Freak.
Yeah. No, that was a great game. I was watching on TV. Couldn't believe it.
It was wild.
Yeah. I
obviously didn't expect winning that game then.
Yeah.
But went on a run. We win that game, end up going all the way to the playoffs, FCS playoffs in the back in the day. Had really good times. Like you said, been to a lot of cool places. Ole Miss my first year. We also played at Arkansas, Florida, played at Kentucky. We didn't win any of those guys. I think Ole Miss was the only Ole Miss was the biggest win by far we ever had while I was there.
Did you ever play Auburn? I feel like I played Auburn one time.
So, 2015, we played Auburn the second game of the year.
Yep.
They were ranked 5 in the nation. Auburn was. Had Jeremy Johnson at the helm.
Yep.
Very bad quarterback. We won't talk about bad quarterback play. But JSU goes in there, again, not thinking this roster was a whole lot different than the team we took to Ole Miss and played, obviously. But we took Auburn to overtime and had it won. Had that game won. Before we even got to overtime, had that game won in regulation. Had a bad punt. Morale went down big time after that. But 2015, that was also the same year that we made it to the national championship game. That was the first time JSU's been back to the national championship since they won it in 1992, but played against Carson Wentz. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. It was the number 2 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Number 2 overall pick, Carson Wentz, which is crazy. So that year, he didn't play in the playoffs. He played at North Dakota State, which was a FCS powerhouse school. Won it every year. If they didn't win it, they were at least in the game.
I think they had a 4-year streak of where
we were the 5th. Yeah. Beat the absolute brakes off of us.
Was that the snow game? Was that the one in the snow? Or y'all went twice, right?
No, we only went once there. So
no, wait, sorry. Whenever UNA went one time, that was they actually ended up playing in Kansas City, and there was like a straight snow game.
No, it was by far the coldest environment I've ever been. So FCS, for those that don't know, the championship game is played in Frisco, Texas, and that game was in January, and it was by far the coldest game I had ever attended. And there was about 50 mile an hour winds. It was miserable. And on top of that, you're getting beat out of the state. It was so bad. And like on the field, so, that team, we had Auburn transfers, had Alabama transfers, Tennessee transfers.
The original Last Chance U.
I don't know how Coach JB would feel about that. But yeah, we Jacksonville State there for a while felt like Last Chance U. And had incredible talent on that team.
Yeah.
Size-wise, we're on the field doing pregame. Like, we were so much bigger than North Dakota State. Like, all around the ball. Like, we were much bigger. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Size does not matter in football.
Oh, okay.
Size does not matter for football. So, no, it was...
To be debated.
My time at Jacksonville State, man, it was the best years of my life. That's where I met my wife.
What's some of the wildest stories you got from out there, man? Like
from JSU?
Yeah. Dude, just break it down. Like, let's just hear it. Like, whether football-wise or just, like, because obviously, being there as long as you were, like, you had...
I mean, it was just so successful. Like, wild stories. Like, I mean, there's typical college wild stories.
No, let's hear the crazy ones. It's been long enough. No one's going to care.
Nah,
you're not gonna ruin any jobs for anybody.
As far as football goes, like there was, I remember. So the same year we went to the national championship, we played Chattanooga the first round at home, who was a big rival for Jacksonville State. took them to overtime. We were coming back that game, took them to overtime, had a pick in the end zone. We were on defense first, had a pick in the end zone. We got the drive. We got the ball that next drive, scoring 2 plays from what I think was the best quarterback to ever come through Jacksonville State was Eli Jenkins.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, absolute stud. Which crazy. So going back to Eli's first couple of years, he got brought in with the coach that, it was Jack Crow. He was an older coach. He ended up leaving after his first couple of years, but he brought him in as a safety. Like, you're not going to play quarterback here. We're going to play you as safety. Which is wild that he went from playing safety to be one of the best quarterbacks to ever come through Jacksonville State. So that was a fun ride with him because he was so – I could go down the list of players that we had that were just freak athletes. It was like, how did you end up here? Like, I feel like you could be playing out of Alabama, out of Auburn. But we ended up getting some of those players who couldn't play there and made a huge impact for Jacksonville State. And I feel like the culture that we had there, after Jack Crow, we had Bill Clark.
Right.
Who took us deep into the playoffs. We made it to the 3rd round of the playoffs. We played at Eastern Washington against Cooper Kupp at Eastern Washington.
My boy.
The red field, which is a sight to see. That is incredible. Atmosphere there. Yeah. It's crazy because you got the red field there, you got the blue field at Boise State, you got a gray field at Eastern Michigan.
Yes.
But no, so Cooper Kupp was there. Oh, let's see. So Bill Clark left after 1 year and became the coach at UAB. So the offensive coordinator under Bill Clark was John Gross, who picked up right where he left off, went on a playoff run. We won 4. I think I got 4 or 5 conference championship rings. This is one of them here.
Show it off.
So this ring here was a back-to-back 2014, 2015, 16-0. You got the 16-0 on this side. You got me and EM for equipment managers, so we got some love on the rings.
Can we diamond test that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's bust out the diamond test.
Yeah. No clue. But no, we got everything the players got as far as rings and equipment gear and all that stuff. But yeah, being an equipment manager, you learn a lot of things, you meet a lot of great people, go to a lot of fantastic places. It was just a time I will always hold on to and never forget.
Yeah, it's on his resume.
You got to come to a few games.
I did.
Experience some of the
it was a
small Jacksonville State lifestyle. It's a college, it's a university, but it's such a small town. Like, everything is within
literally like
mile and a half, 2 mile radius.
The best college towns are in little just country towns.
It was awesome. Like, you go to Tuscaloosa or you go to Auburn, like, everything is so big and so vast. Like, you obviously went there, and I'm sure the lifestyle, of course, having a great football team and basketball team now, like, the environment there year round is exceptional. But, like, Jacksonville State's almost like a glorified big high school football town.
That's a good way to put it. That's how I felt at UNA, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was very much the same because UNA is a very, very small town.
Yeah.
I believe the oldest college in the state. But yeah, like when I was going to UNA and then I got to come out to JSU and check out where you're at.
It's a little bit bigger than UNA, but still same concept.
Yeah, same concept. The atmosphere, especially football wise, much, much better.
Yeah.
I think I like Florence and UNA's campus better.
Well, see, like when people say Florence, they're like, oh, Florence, Alabama. When you say Jacksonville, Alabama, they're like, we thought Jacksonville was Florida. Yeah. There was teams we would play in our conference where I remember we played at Austin Peay, which is in Tennessee. I'm running footballs for Jacksonville State on Austin Peay sideline. And I was talking to some of their players and other staff members on their side. It's like, so how long of a drive was it from Jacksonville? It's like, well, about 3 or 4 hours. It's like, from Florida? It's like, no, you jackass. Like, Jacksonville, Alabama. Like, you don't know what Jacksonville, Alabama, which before I went there, I didn't know Alabama had a city called Jacksonville.
Yeah, I never knew either until, you started talking about going there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about an hour away from the Georgia state line. Small town. It's got the highest academic building in the state, if y'all didn't know that.
Riley Green is from there, right?
Riley Green is from Jacksonville, Alabama.
Oh, man. I need me that Riley Green build.
Yeah. Riley Green, I actually played softball with him there, too. Or slow pitch softball with Riley Green. Yeah, he's a stud. Yep, he came through Jacksonville, Alabama. The football team actually produced a couple of NFL stars, or I won't say stars, NFL players, excuse me. One of them still playing now. He got a second contract, so he was there. His name's Saran Neal. He got drafted, played at Buffalo, Buffalo Bills special teams guy, safety, special teams primarily. But he just got his second contract, and he's with the Miami Dolphins now.
Wow.
Yep. So not many JSU people in the league, but they.
Let's talk about some of the other. Let's talk about the upcoming games this weekend. We got Ohio State, and Penn State.
Big game.
3-4.
Yeah, Ohio State, they're looking at another big-time game. They've already got one loss against Oregon, conference rival. This is a big game for them because you think if they lose another game, that's sitting with 2 losses. Granted, they're 2 losses against top five opponents, so you don't know how much that's going to go into it. Yeah, big game there. You got – that's really it. Honestly, as far as big games go.
Really, big games, yes. That's pretty much the biggest of the weekend.
Going back, though, Texas and Vandy.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's talk about that game real quick, because y'all were over at the house for that game.
Yeah, so 27-24, Texas won. You know, Texas was up by a lot at first, and then Vandy just chipped away and came back. Had the opportunity to win the game.
They had. You take away those 2 picks. I mean, obviously, you take away turnovers in any game, you could speak a different story. But even with them being down that they were, Vandy never got out of their game plan.
No.
They were going to eat the clock. They were going to chew you up. They were going to put points up at the end of the drive. Like, that was... Obviously, I'm sure every Alabama fan was cheering for Vandy at that game, but they were still right there at the very end. Like, they were onside kick away from, having a chance to tie and take the lead. Who is this Vandy team?
I don't know. They must have a great NIL collective.
It makes me feel better about the Bama loss against because it wasn't a fluke loss.
No longer a bad loss.
No, it's not. Honestly, like once we lost them, and then I watched them play the next week, and they did well. It's like, you know what? We're going to have to pull for Vandy for the remainder of the year because if they continue to rack up wins, it's going to make Bama's loss look better. And the fact that Vandy still ended up losing to Texas, the loss is a loss, but it's against the best team in the country.
Vandy is very competitive.
Talent will catch up to them. I mean, as with most things, but they run that triple option to pretty much perfection.
Yeah.
I mean, no other program runs it, really. So, I mean, you don't really prepare or practice for it, which is in their advantage.
Yeah, but they could still drop back, throw it over you. They can hand it off.
Better than probably any other program, if there are any other that run.
Yeah, Vandy is a really good team. That should, shout out to Vandy.
Yeah, no, they I don't know what they did from one year to the next, but they figured it out. And
they got Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
Is he a junior this year? Is he a junior?
I don't know.
Do we know that?
I can find that out.
Because if he's going to come back next year, Vandy could be, not say they're playoff, but Vandy's not going to be a pushover team
they're not
anymore.
Out of the ranking, which I don't know if I agree with. I feel like should have left them at 25.
Yeah, because they were in 20. Yeah, they were 25.
They were 25. I mean, they get a loss, so. Yeah. I hear where you're coming from, and I do in a sense.
They still got that Georgia State loss that's looming over them, too.
Yeah. That was still early in the year when they were figuring things out.
He's a senior.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Dang.
Really? R.I.P. Diego Pavia.
Yeah. I can't believe we'd never heard of him before this year.
No.
But he's killing it. I mean,
welcome to the SEC.
Yeah.
Good things happen when you beat Alabama.
Let's see here. What else we got? Dude, Navy lost.
They did lose.
Notre Dame whooped them.
Beat the brakes off of.
So there goes one half of our ship.
Yeah.
Still got.
I think Army's playing, or no, Army's got Air Force this weekend. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but Army still got to play Notre Dame too.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I found this on the web for what else we got lost Notre Dame.
Cancel.
We have a special guest tonight in Siri. So thank you for coming on. We really appreciate that.
First time for everything, I guess.
That was wild.
So yeah, I don't know. Other than Ohio State, Penn State, there's really no other big games that jump off. I don't know if you have that pulled up. There's any games that jump off?
There's one other ranked matchup, and it's Pittsburgh and SMU.
Okay.
SMU's been somewhat competitive, I guess.
Yeah, I think they've only got one loss this year. They're kind of middle of the pack.
Yep.
7-1.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar at this time with.
I'm not
who
either.
they
Yeah.
beat.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know they
sure we
beat
don't have
Duke
any
by-
SMU fans yet, so we don't feel bad not talking about it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else we got? I'm jumping to the NFL.
Yeah, let's do it. Unfortunately, it'll be quick. It'll be a quick conversation.
That's what she said.
Yep.
So the Titans suck.
Yeah, they're still very embarrassing.
Ted McMillan.
What's crazy is that I obviously had zero expectations for the Titans coming into the Lions this weekend.
Started off really good.
They played great.
Yep.
Like the first quarter, I know Rudolph had that pick, but they put up 14 points quick.
Dude, offense looked great. So again, Rudolph, former Steeler, looks great. I mean, he threw 2 picks, but his picks look a lot better than what Levis has done this year.
I don't know, man. That first one when he just wouldn't take the sack and just decided to.
I disagree. I think he looks. The offense is in the past 2 weeks
Right now, I'm
so much better.
I know I'm representing Will Levis tonight, and this is the day before Halloween. I tried to go find a clown wig because I was gonna wear a clown wig, have the the red nose. I was gonna be Will Levis for Halloween, but
Have a jug of mayonnaise next to you.
give me Mason Rudolph for the rest of the season.
I'm glad you're on that train.
I'm actually opposed that because the league and the Titans know what Mason Rudolph is, and that's never
not true.
a starting quarterback.
That is not true
back in the
whatsoever.
league
He
to a
never
Super
really.
Bowl.
He only really had one season with the Steelers where he got to play for real,
But
and he
that's
did
enough
good.
time to see what he is. I mean, there's
But he
only
did
so
good.
many
He did good.
Sam Darnolds and Baker Mayfields.
No. Mason Rudolph he's a good quarterback. I think he is definitely a starter for a team.
Levis should get the gig the rest of the season to at least see if he can develop. And what the season's lost.
He's done.
Way. What are we losing? We're not making the playoffs with Rudolph.
I think
Here's why
you
you-
get Mason Rudolph's trade value up.
That's number one. Number two is I say you don't play Levis because I feel like he could potentially be on the trade block, and you don't want teams to know how potentially bad he is. You don't want his. I mean,
Does it get worse?
Dude, he's regressed so much.
Does it
dude.
get worse than what he's played this year?
I don't know.
Levis?
It may not get worse, but it'll plateau.
He may not play another down the rest of the year, and he'll still, in the end of the season, lead the league in turnovers. Like, that's how bad he's been.
He's been
It's
terrible.
embarrassing to watch. And Mason Rudolph, we've talked about it on the podcast here. It's like Mason Rudolph, it's hard to respect a guy that got his own helmet ripped off and hitting his face with it. And, like, he's never done anything to look like, wow, that's a really good quarterback. But, like, with this system, he fed the best player on your field the ball.
Which is
Calvin
what he should do.
Ridley thrived from it.
Yep.
I feel like he could have had one touchdown.
It opened the running game up. Like Tony Pollard has looked so much better with
Tony
Rudolph.
Pollard looks like a great signing.
Yeah, defense started off the game hot. Like and we haven't talked about the special teams, but they screwed the Titans.
Oh my God!
Like, I'm not saying the Titans win this game.
The whole year.
Dude,
They don't win.
Almost had 3 returns for touchdowns. That was crazy.
It's stupid how bad the special teams played. Like,
That was some of the worst.
your
I've ever
offense
seen.
is gasping for air. Your defense is played, I'd say, the same throughout the entire year.
Yeah. I feel like defense has been pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, they've
Solid.
been consistent enough. But your offense is putting together drives. They're putting points up. They score 14 points pretty quick. And that's it.
Yeah.
You get zero production out of it. The Dolphins, the Lions do whatever they want to do. They can run it by you. They can throw it over your
Jahmyr
head.
Gibbs.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs looks fantastic. And they still got that Thunder Lightning duo with Gibbs and Montgomery.
Right.
But it's like the special teams, they put you in bad situations the entire game.
The whole game they did. It was awful.
There was one point where the Lions were up. I think they were up 2 possessions. They were up 2 touchdowns, getting ready to score their third, and Jared Goff only had 20 passing yards.
Yeah.
I think he finished the game with 80 or something? 3 touchdowns.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, 3. Yeah. It was low. Yeah. But yeah.
I mean,
this-
why pass it when you can run? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they were just.
And
Brian
Callahan, he said it in his post game interview, but he's like, the Lions scored more when they got the ball in Tennessee territory when they started in their own territory. It's like, that's football. Like, you give the opposing team a better chance to score, an easier chance to score. 8 times out of 10, they're going to score. Unless you're the Titans. And you get the ball first and goal before halftime. When you get the ball coming out of halftime, you throw the ball 4 times.
Right.
When you've got a really good running back, you didn't utilize him one bit.
Yeah, we're talking about that. That made zero sense. What were they thinking? I don't know.
So how do y'all feel about the head coach? I feel like it's a good time to bring that up.
Perfect time, because I was just about to bring up, I never would have gotten rid of Vrabel.
Yeah.
He never did anything bad enough or wrong enough to warrant getting fired. Whoever gets him next is going to hit a home run.
It's going to tick me off if it ends up being like one of those historic franchises.
It will be.
But what's bad is, like, so he got canned last year, coming off of a number 1 seed in the AFC. Because that was 2 years ago, right?
They were number 21. Year we lost to the Bengals.
Was that 21?
Yeah.
Okay, so I take that back then. But still, I mean, you're recent off of a number 1 AFC seeding,
and then the following year they still got in the playoffs, and then last year obviously didn't. But
it's just a bad franchise.
Yeah, last year was a troubled year. I mean, didn't have
find that quarterback, man.
Yeah,
that's really what it boils down to.
With Ryan Tannehill, a lot of issues with Levis coming in and out last year as a rookie.
But I guess that was what makes Mason Rudolph okay, because, like you said, he doesn't have a lot of reps, so you really don't know what to base him off of.
But he still looks better than Levis.
But the past couple weekends, he's come in and done.
He always did really
well.
The reason I like that is just for the team morale. Like, you don't lose Calvin Ridley in the locker room or something. If
How he Ridley wants Rudolph, because Rudolph is
saying, though.
Well,
That's
now,
why I would only want Rudolph to play, is because it probably keeps the locker room together more than
you got to figure it out now, though, because you can't, like you said, you can't go back and forth, because that's going to kill the locker room. So it's like, make Mason Rudolph, the season's canned,
done.
Keep Rudolph in, just start him, let him start going forward. He showed flashes of what the offense could look like.
Yes.
Now, the Lions' defense is really good. I know they're missing Aiden Hutchinson, but they're still really good. That's a really good team, and he still carved them up in the first half.
Yeah, he did.
And Nick Westbrook-Akine, let's bring him up.
Oh,
that dude is a player.
He's the most undervalued, underrated receiver in the league.
He looked good with Levis last year, and then he just like never got reps.
He's the do-it-right guy.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And
he looked fantastic.
Yeah, he looks really good.
Definitely.
He's mission consistent. He's not going to drop any passes.
I mean,
and another thing,
outstanding catches.
I know we hadn't talked about, like, Treylon Burks hasn't played a whole lot.
Yeah, he's on IR.
But he's on IR. Okay.
Yeah, he's hurt.
But even before then, it's like you couldn't trust him with anything. Why isn't Westbrook-Akine
one of the worst
number
1 pick, or first round picks ever made?
Yeah, it's tough. That's bad. They were comparing him to AJ Brown, playing next to AJ Brown, and then it's like that's a slap in the face to AJ Brown.
Told both of y'all when the night of the draft, when that pick was made, that I feel like that was one of the worst picks.
That was a franchise curse.
Yeah, it was terrible.
That's a move that keeps the Titans where they are, their franchise, just from taking that next step.
They just lit it on fire and threw it up. The whole organization blew up.
Speaking of Titans, though, Malik Willis had a game-winning drive again the other day.
That's just
pisses me off.
I'll always believe this. That's just a product of Green Bay. They'll turn any quarterback.
It's unbelievable.
Turn me into a competent
You're
NFL
freaking 6'6", so I mean that would be hard to do.
I know we haven't said it on this, but I was pissed when they traded Willis, and I told you that.
He did, and I said it was a good trade because Willis hadn't done jack squat for the Titans in his 2 years. I mean,
and it could be, like you said,
one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. And then now in his time in Green Bay, since the beginning of the year,
he's saving Green Bay right now because
Jordan Love
goes out first week. He comes in and beats the Titans at home.
Came back in this previous week, and won the game.
If his confidence isn't through the roof right now, Like I'm happy for Willis, honestly, because I was rooting for him when he was the Titans. I was like, I figured he should get a fair shot compared to what Levis was getting.
Right.
And he got his shots, yes, and he didn't look great. But it's like he's been in the league for several years now, and it's like he's finally getting a chance.
Year 3 for him.
Yeah, so he's getting a chance in Green Bay to come through when they need him, and he's done nothing but excel.
He's proved me wrong. I mean, I didn't think he was capable.
Not saying he would do this with Titans, because right now it seems like there's nothing in Titans.
Tom Brady couldn't do this with Titans. Okay, so depending on how long Love's going to be out or whatever again, and Willis continues to play and do well, like I think we talked about this the other week, but like now it's more so. Is there going to be? The guy? Yeah, is there going to be a true quarterback controversy in Green Bay because Jordan Love has gotten paid?
Yeah.
So it's like, do you play the guy who's gotten paid but isn't performing?
Well, you've got Love locked up for the next couple of years. This is a perfect tryout for Willis.
But who do you play? It comes down like, do you want to win games or do you feel like you got to play the guy who you're paying all the money to?
Well, I mean, he is the starter too. You know what I mean?
You got to pay, and with this.
But I'm saying if Willis continues to play well and wins and performs better than Love has shown that he's capable of, what do you go with? I say Willis, like under the circumstances that he plays well and they win games.
Play him while he's hot.
Yeah, and he continues to play well and wins. Like, why would it be fair to take that opportunity away from him if you're winning and doing really well?
Maybe they ship him off. Would be a good time.
Why would you get rid of him though? If he's the one,
not this year. You wouldn't get rid of him this year because obviously you need him because it's.
I'm talking about even next year. Let's just hypothetically say, let's say he plays the rest of the year, plays well, wins a championship. Oh, I mean, this is a Carson Wentz scenario.
Nick Foles is.
Right?
I would think is better than Willis, but I guess time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, really hadn't seen a whole lot from Willis. I mean, he played the entire game against the Titans and looked good against them, but...
I mean, and he played another full game after that, and then he played, half the game the other day.
I don't know. I mean, it is tough. I mean, with as competitive as the NFC North is, you got to find a guy to get you there. For me, I still think it's Love going forward, though. I mean, they're gonna put him in because he hasn't really done anything for them to.
He hasn't looked good this year, dude.
He hasn't looked good, but at the same time, it's like, do you just paid all that money? Like, how bad does that look as a franchise?
That's what I'm saying. Like, are they making a choice based on money?
100%. Yeah.
Versus who is actually the better quarterback?
So, I just looked up Jordan Love's stats. He has 15 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and a 91.8 QB rating.
He has 15 already. How many games has he played? You sure that's not his career?
6. I mean, he's a really good quarterback.
No, he is. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Like,
and he's probably mad that Willis has come in and done his thing.
What's Willis' stats? You look that up.
Look it up.
It's almost. I know we'll get to this topic after he gives us those stats, but this is kind of the same thing that's going on in Pittsburgh right now. Like you got.
Right.
So he's got a 130. I mean, this is small sample size, but this is what he's put up regardless. 130.3 QB rating, 0 interceptions, and 3 picks.
3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Yeah, but it's 1-1-1.
Huh?
Like 1 touchdown a game for 3 games.
Okay, but you said
you
said 0 picks, 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant touchdowns.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know. They're gonna play the guy that they just paid, and keep Willis on the shelf for when they need him to come in.
Yeah.
But going to another quarterback controversial team, the Steelers. Russ comes in and he still does really good this past weekend.
Russ is cooking. So we're 2 weeks in a row of them.
Yeah.
I liked Russ all these years with the Seahawks. I was never a huge Justin Fields fan, but that was with Chicago.
Yeah, you never really knew what he was going to be like.
I didn't know he was capable of,
Yep.
but, I knew that he was capable a lot more than he was allowed to show with the Bears. With that being said, him coming to the Steelers, I was hyped. I mean, all preseason.
Because he got there first, right?
Yeah.
And then they went and got Russ,
right.
yeah.
So, he's younger. I mean, to me, he pretty much was Russ, just younger, less, a little bit less experienced, but
a little bit more athletic.
Actually, yeah, he's tall. He is taller, a little bit more athletic. And obviously at this, we've seen 2 weeks of Russ now, But Justin Fields, I mean, we've gotten 5 wins at that four wins, 5 wins with him throughout the year, and it looked good. Said this the other week that I wanted to see more out of him passing wise, passing touchdowns. I mean, he's made all the right plays, but we needed more out of the air. Russ comes in though, his first week last week.
Throws it all over the yard.
Throws it all over the yard. Looks fantastic. Looks like Russ from 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Ball's back, baby.
I'm like, okay, well, it's one game. Play again.
You double down.
Double down.
Yeah.
Coming back, did it again.
Who'd they play this past weekend?
That doesn't matter. It's the Giants, so I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know who they played.
No, they're
forgot who they played.
That's not a great sample there, but still, though, I mean.
They did it against the Jets.
Yeah, it's NFL, exactly.
Yeah. Unless you play the Titans.
Yeah, then it's no longer any given Sunday.
Yeah.
I like where we're at with Russ. He opens
Russ
up,
probably stay starter for the.
I would think so. And if I'm Justin Fields, I wouldn't be upset about it. Man, take this time to learn. Really and truly, take this time to learn.
Yeah, because who do you have at Chicago over him? Mike Glennon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that his veteran quarterback in the room?
I believe there was Mike White. No, that was the guy with the Jets. Yeah.
I think it was Glennon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you got a Super Bowl champ quarterback who's been there, done that, good and bad. You did fantastic when you had your chance. It's starting for Pittsburgh this year.
Yeah.
Take notes.
Learn.
Sit back, because Russ is on the tail end of his career.
Yeah, I mean, really and truly, like if we see major progress, or if the coaches, the team, the organization sees continued major progress of Justin Fields behind the scenes at practice and so forth for the remainder of the year, and Russ is a Steeler for obviously this year, but
it's a young team too.
Next year too, like next year would be Russ's final year with the team, regardless, and Justin will take over.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I were in his shoes, I'd be perfectly okay with that. Like he's getting paid either way, but take this. I mean, he's still so young, so take this time, learn, develop, and fine tune your craft, and then take over when the time is right.
Yeah. So going back to the Bears, we touched on a little bit last week. You got the number 1 overall pick, number 2 overall pick, going head to head this past weekend with Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. Jeez, I almost called him Connor. Caleb Williams went down to the wire.
Dude, walk-off touchdown.
And then you got the clip that comes out of the Bears safety.
Just daggum.
He's taunting the stands, looking like
the football gods.
Yeah.
And then he's the same guy that comes in, and instead of batting it down, he just tips the ball up just a little bit for them to get the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
How small do you have to feel after that?
The price is right for him, I'll tell you, because what a sequence.
Such a tough look.
Yeah.
Such a tough look.
I can't believe he didn't get immediately cut for real.
Or beat up in the locker room.
Yeah. That's tough.
It's like the Jamal Adams gif where he's trying to clock into the facility.
Oh.
It's like that'd be that guy.
Yeah. Man, yeah. No, but dude, credit Jaden Daniels. What a throw.
Yeah, that was
He's a freak.
So, I mean, there's actually a few instances of that this weekend. So we had Baker Mayfield. He had the same opportunity to do that. And it was about 3 feet out of bounds.
Yeah.
His receiver caught it. And got taken out of bounds on that. So that's a couple weeks in a row now. That's happened to Bacon the Bucks.
Yeah.
He's still my dog though. And then we're going to talk about the Browns and the Ravens for a minute, baby. So the Browns won game number 2 this year.
You called it last week.
Yep. So
Jameis came in and cooked.
So they won. Not only did they win, they beat the Ravens, who were probably the hottest team in the NFL before that loss. They still looked great. Jameis, though, 3 touchdowns, threw for over 300 yards.
Yep. You only had like 4 or 5 incompletions, too.
Yeah. And dude, and all those incompletions were literally should have been pick sixes. Luckily, the Ravens defense dropped them.
He's been a completely different player since he got that LASIK surgery done.
Yeah. So, but not only that, he had the game-winning drive. the Ravens had another opportunity to score and win the game potentially after Jameis's game-winning drive. But still, I mean, there was like a minute left in the game.
That was a bomb of a throw,
Takes them down the field, makes some great throws, one really bad one, and then throws a 38-yard touchdown pass to win it, and then lets defense do his thing.
I love when he got a microphone on him, dude. He just says some of the wildest stuff.
He needs to be a Titan.
He needs to be a preacher is what he needs
He
to
said,
be.
shout out that white boy from Detroit.
Alabama native.
Dallas from Hueytown.
Yeah. What a game, though. I mean, I got to watch the whole thing. It was a great game from both teams.
The Ravens shot themselves in the foot during that game, too, with all the drop passes that they had. They had drop touchdowns.
Yeah.
Cedric
Both
Tillman.
teams had so many dropped interceptions,
Yeah.
So talking about Jameis, so comparing him to Deshaun Watson, Deshaun never had, a 300-yard passing game throughout his career as a Brown.
Really?
His fall off is tremendous, regardless of the off the field stuff. His just football performance is like crazy, considering what he used to be to what he is now. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, because his rookie year, amazing. I mean, the following couple years after that, I mean, he was easily one of the top 5 quarterbacks.
He earned the money that he got.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
Yeah, he earned the money that he got. But then ever since he got there, it's just...
You feel that, really?
Yeah.
That he should have gotten it fully guaranteed like he did, $240 million?
Well, they pay him for what he is then, not for what they think he's going to be. That goes with everybody. So, I mean, then he was the hottest quarterback going around.
But he was already under investigation for all of those cases.
Well, it didn't come out until afterwards.
No, that's not true. It had already come out. He was still with Houston for one full season whenever. So all that stuff came out, and then he was still with the Texans for one full year with all those 20-plus allegations out. And then he just sat the bench. He didn't play. They didn't play him a single game. Davis Mills did. And then after that year of him sitting right on the bench getting paid, then the Browns traded for him.
Yeah.
You have to think he's done. Just like
I don't know.
body-wise and
I mean, he's still not even 30 years old. He's still a young dude. I believe he's like 27.
shoulder surgery
27.
and then Achilles.
Yeah. A lot of players older than him, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, both, to name a few, have come back from Achilles injury now. So that's not a big deal. But I think teams are going to be far and few between and way less likely to take a chance on him going forward due to the injuries. But we all know because of the allegations against him.
A lot hanging over his head.
And aside from all of that, he hasn't performed.
Yeah.
He hasn't performed.
Yeah.
Harvey almost felt kind of bad for him when the Browns fans were cheering that he got injured.
So we talked
And I
about
saw
that.
like him crying. I was like,
I mean, yeah, to see a grown man.
the
It's tough
person,
seeing a grown man
Deshaun, is
cry.
Terrible.
It's tough seeing a grown man cry.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, well. Jameis did look good. If he can keep that going, look out.
That's
for the
my
Browns.
first. Jameis, keep it up, brother. I'm hyped.
Comeback player of the year.
Dude, yeah. Give it to him right now. After one game. If he doesn't play another game, give it to him. He deserves it. Okay, so briefly, Anthony Richardson for the Colts, dude.
Oh.
For one, he started off like 2 of 20. I mean, I don't know if it's that, but I know for a fact he was like 2 of 15 or something, 2 of 16 at one point.
Horrible.
Like 10 yards passing. But during the game, had a long run, long scramble, decides, Coach, take me out.
Get me out.
23 years old. I'm tired. I'm out of breath.
I tell you.
Bring in the GOAT, the former GOAT, Joe Flacco, balls out.
Yeah. That's probably another
He's definitely the better quarterback.
And now, the other day, the Colts are like, you tired? Okay, we're going to let you rest up on the bench.
The rest of the season.
For the season.
Yeah.
You're
Good move by them.
You're riding the
Yeah,
pine, son.
that's the right move.
Yeah,
That's
it
huge
is.
for the program,
For him
yeah.
and the current team, because he could sit behind
Flacco-
Flacco, who's a great veteran to learn
Flacco
from.
can still lead them to the playoffs. I'm not saying they can win
Flacco's still
anything.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he did great with the Browns last year when
Because the
Deshaun Watson
AFC
was out.
South isn't a very competitive division.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Texans, but like you said, I mean, Joe Flacco can lead that team, and
Yeah,
they can take off.
he was Amari Cooper's favorite
Which is
quarterback.
great for my Michael Pittman on fantasy.
All right, so transitioning from NFL, let's talk about the World Series a little bit, dude. Where Game 5 is tonight. LA is up 3.
I did not think we were going to make it to Game 5.
Yeah, no. After,
By the way, this was going.
no. I mean, after Game 1, I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to 4. That's it for sure.
Yeah.
Yankees played phenomenal ball last night. So
They finally got the offense woke up.
yes, they
They
did.
got their ace on the mound tonight, so it could easily be 3-2 and going back to LA.
They need it. They need it.
I don't want to see it happen, but yes, that could happen. Dude, okay, so Freddie Freeman, though, he's got 4 home runs, one in each game. Started game 1 with his
On one leg.
walk-off grand slam.
That was so cool for him.
That was amazing. I hate to see it.
Great moment
Would've
for
been-
baseball.
Would have been
As
better.
a Braves fan, he better strike out for every remaining at bat because he even considers, if it reaches a point where his time in LA is just that good to where he considers getting a blank cap on his Hall of Fame plaque, I'm having a barbecue with my Freddie Freeman jersey.
Yeah. The Dodgers win it. He is hands down the MVP.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes, he is.
I mean, he's homered in every game.
Yeah, he's played out.
That's the World Series record, too. 6 straight games.
Yeah.
Final two in Atlanta.
Yep.
Games 5 and 6, and then
On a
every
bad
game of this
foot.
series.
On a bad foot. Yeah, no, his reign as him being him is unmatched. I would wish that it was in a Braves uniform.
Yeah. It's still hard not. I mean, regardless, yeah, he is with the Dodgers, but like Freddie Freeman as a person, like all that stuff. They did a little segment on him last night before the game. It's like all that stuff about his son that happened this year and the relationship with him and his dad and the moment they had after the grand slam. Like,
Yeah,
man,
that was really cool
So
to see.
easy.
love Freddie Freeman,
Yeah.
dude.
No, yeah,
World class dude and player.
And the way he got treated from leaving the Braves and his agent screwing him, like that makes you root for
fired
him
his
even
agent.
more.
Yeah, fired his agent after that. I mean, he probably still would be a Brave if that never happened. If it's
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think he's staying.
His agent misled him.
It'd be one thing if he was on the Mariners doing this, but it's just the freaking.
I mean, yeah, it
Dodgers,
sucks
man.
as the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are going to pay whoever they want to pay because they got it. But yeah,
I wouldn't have taken the money. I can tell you that right now.
Said you would have, or
I
wouldn't
would not have. I would have stayed with the Braves.
it's like Dansby.
I think they did the math on it just with all the taxes out there in California. He would make more
He
total
would
in Atlanta and Georgia versus
would've.
California.
he would have.
Even with like less total money,
Yeah.
he would have made more.
His agent still screwed him, so I hope that God.
Which is weird because he's actually the agent. His name's Casey Close. He's the agent or was the agent for Derek Jeter, and Derek Jeter like
And
came to his
Dansby.
back and
Dansby.
yeah. So I don't know how official that is unless that dude's just you know.
It was official. I mean, that was a real deal thing that happened. I mean, like Freddie is the one that came out and said it. Like, yeah, my agent did not convey this information accurate to me. So,
That was tough.
was it? This is his 3rd year, right, with the Dodgers? Yeah, 3rd year. That's crazy. I can't believe he's already been there 3 freaking years.
He can come back. There's still time. We'll take him as a DH.
I'm here. I need him. I need Bryce. Maybe we can keep Allison.
It's like those guys that the Braves brought up. You know, you got Acuna, Ozzie, Austin Riley, Freddie, Dansby. Like with Freddie and Dansby leaving, it's like we want our homegrown guys to stay.
to stay. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so we got game 5 tonight. Like Peyton said, Yankees got their absolute ace out there. If they win tonight, do you think he could come back for game 7 and pitch again, have a quick turnaround?
If it's game 7, everything's on the table.
Yeah, I mean it's the last game of the year, no matter what.
I'll tell you who's, and we talked about that tonight, but I'll tell you who ain't going to be pitching game 7 in the 9th inning is Shohei
Yeah,
Ohtani.
he's just getting beat up,
Dude.
left and right.
Left and right. He's been getting hurt a little bit.
But like you said, I mean it's game 7. It's like come out there and throw.
Yeah, he might. I think it'd
Throw
be
it in
awesome.
It
to
would be
see.
too.
So did y'all see? I mean, in just the craziest turn of events,
Yes.
Gronk knew the Yankees fan that reached over into.
How
the
crazy
field of
was
play.
that last night?
Yeah.
Who you said Gronk knew?
Gronk knows the.
He like grew
Yankees
up with him,
fan.
didn't he?
Yeah,
Really?
I think he was a roommate with him in college.
Yeah.
at
That's-
Arizona.
that-
He said he was a hockey,
No surprise there.
hockey guy.
But yeah, okay, so
I've seen mixed feelings about what that guy did last night too. I've seen like this guy is a piece of crap, like you don't do that, and then I've seen other people. It's like
I don't
This
mind-
guy showed the
Yankees are
true
known
dog
for it.
of Yankees.
Yeah.
In
Like,
the '90s, y'all remember the name Jeffrey Mayer,
of course.
the guy who reached over the little
Cubs
kid,
guy,
reached over
right?
the fence. No,
Yeah.
he was a Yankees kid. He's
Oh,
probably
oh, oh.
11 years old. Reached
Yeah.
over the fence on what was a clear
Yeah,
fan interference and just gave Jeter the home run versus the Orioles.
right.
I mean, this dude tried to rip Mookie's glove
yeah,
off.
so
and
that's
pick the ball out of the
that's
glove.
where it became a problem for me. Like it wasn't him trying to attempt to catch it, whatever. But it's one of those like very elongated and tried
I
to
felt like he was attacking Mookie Betts. Yeah.
That's when I feel that it became an issue. But how about it was the same batter from the previous game that they thought hit the home run, and the fan. This was when they were playing at the Dodgers. The fan reached over, and then he ends up being the same batter last night. When Mookie did end up catching the ball. I just think that's ironic and funny.
Yeah, that was pure savage. He got famous pretty quick.
You know what else is pretty ironic about this series? So this year is the 20-year anniversary of the Red Sox coming from behind 3-0
seen
in the
that.
2004 ALCS versus the Yankees.
That came out on Netflix too, didn't it?
Yeah.
They did come out with that documentary. And Dave Roberts is the manager of the Dodgers, who was on that 2004 Red Sox team, who stole second base in Game 4 when they were down in the 9th inning and ended up tying the game.
I don't see the Yankees coming back down like
it's only
that.
happened once. I can't imagine, but
because the
if they win
Dodgers are
tonight,
so
it's definitely a
stacked.
discussion.
Yeah, the Dodgers are so it's rigged. It's all rigged.
Yeah.
Man.
The Dodgers
While
are
I
just
don't
too
want it to happen,
powerful.
it would just be so fun
It
for
would
it
be
to happen.
hilarious if they force a Game 7 just to put up a 10 spot in the first inning.
The Yankees did get
Dodgers,
hot
Game
last
7.
night.
Yeah.
It's good for them. For the Yankees, it's good for them that they're playing again tonight. Hopefully they can keep it going. But the Dodgers, man, just from top to bottom, they're just
A stacked team.
It's ridiculous.
A well-paid team.
Did y'all see that they're going to pursue Juan Soto this offseason?
sure they are. Why not?
The Dodgers are?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get with a Shohei deferral like that. It's ridiculous.
Well, that and you got a freaking payroll at the.
But he plays right. I mean, what's Mookie?
Mookie can play anywhere.
Yeah, he's just gonna
Put him at second or
Yeah,
short.
Yeah,
Because you got Gavin Lux and Tommy Edman.
true.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to say to yourself, like, if I'm stealing all the competition, how is this fun for viewers?
Right, yeah. I mean, they'll let the Dodgers abuse it to the point where it's hurting the league. You know what I mean? MLB league office,
Super
I think
team.
they'll let them get away with it for 3 or 4 years until they realize that the competitive balance is out of whack, and then they'll come out with some, creative rule where you can't defer that much money. Like maybe you can only defer.
Yeah, no
20% of the
deferrals, and let's put a
contract or
cap. That's just what they just need a cap. Like, that'll solve a lot of this. Just cap it.
Just build a super team.
Because I mean, it just I don't know. It'll ruin the game. To be honest.
Do you think the Yankees get it done tonight? Garrett Cole's pitching?
I think they get it done.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would have my money on them. if I was
Because you
betting
know
that.
what? There were a lot of people talking about too. Game 1, everybody felt like they pulled Garrett Cole too early and went to the bullpen. They brought in Nestor Cortez,
Yep.
and then he gives up the grand slam. It's like, if Garrett Cole's dealing like he did the other night, do you quick trigger him again? And
I don't think so.
you let him go, because if
Right.
this is potentially his last game pitching, you let him go unless it's like an obvious, like, hey, you're getting rocked.
Rocked.
You got to come out.
Yeah. No, I think they'll let him ride.
You got to.
Like you just said.
He's got experience. You just got to let him eat.
So, yeah, 3-1. They win tonight. Going back to LA. I don't know.
It ends in L.A.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's got to. But they could end tonight.
What's better, Game 7 MLB or Game 7 NBA playoffs?
I have to say baseball, right? Just 'cause-
Well, you don't watch basketball, so
I mean, that's true. That's true.
I think it's basketball.
I say basketball for sure.
Man.
It's just way more electric. End to end, from beginning to end, like a Game 7 in basketball, like everything matters. Like, I don't know. It's a lot more electric. It's a lot more fun.
Well, it's each possession is crucial.
Yes.
Where it's like baseball, you could have a 0-0 game going into the last inning, and then you get a couple blue pits or a couple wild pitches, walks.
Yeah, so it's a slow game throughout until, like you're saying, until the ninth.
yeah, it's a long, slow buildup. Where
Yeah.
NBA, like Game 7 NBA, it's like
everything
you're in
matters.
it every single second.
Yeah, everything matters. Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's
Give me Game 7 NBA. And we're going to have, I know I got hockey friends out there who's like, oh, hockey playoffs is way different than any other sport. I could see that too, but I just don't watch hockey.
yeah. No, it's NBA. No matter
Give me the
what.
NBA playoffs over
We've watched
baseball.
enough. I've watched-
Unless the Braves are in it.
Man,
Who do y'all think has, of the major four, who do you think has like the best championship and like playoff structure?
NBA.
I think it's got to be NBA, yeah, because they
NBA.
don't. Because like with the NFL, you get your division winners who get in, and then the highest,
Wild card.
wins wise
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
Baseball, you got division winners, and then you got the wild card teams. With NBA, it's just the best teams, no matter what division you're in.
Yep.
It's just whoever's got the best record, you're in.
Yeah, I think I honestly like. MLB's the least.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it, especially with the layoff. I think there is definitely something to the layoff,
There is.
in my opinion. There's no evidence to support it other than the Braves, really, and a few other teams. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you're asking these guys to play almost every day for 6 months, and then they can be the 1 seed, sit out for 5 days. It's not necessarily the layoff.
It's just
fact that
the
other teams
routine.
keep playing.
Yeah,
and build momentum.
they are out of routine. Like
Right.
they may be practicing and scrimmaging and simulating, playing a game, but it's not the same as
You
playing.
can't simulate live action.
Yeah. So no, I agree. The layoffs hurt, just like it does in basketball, honestly. But anyway, so talking of basketball
A team that's going to make it to the playoffs is the Lakers.
is the Lakers. Dude, J.J. Redick has got that team right.
Dude, they look completely different.
They do.
I know they've only played 4 games, but
Yeah.
they look drastically different.
With these same group of, like, literally,
Yeah.
these same group of players look amazing, dude. The play calls, his attention to detail has been outstanding. Running the offense a lot more through AD.
They're just showing fight early. And I know it could be, beginning of the season, like everybody's finally ready to get out there. But, like,
I mean, last year they started horrible, so.
yeah. What they say, the last time they started 2-0, they made it to the championship. Last time they started 3-0, some other weird stat. It was Kobe and Paul Gasol. They were coming off of NBA championships. Like,
Yeah, I know
you
they're
got all
saying,
those
like, with
stats, but-
LeBron, like, every time they started off 2 or 3-0, that, that's when he's made it to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, and they lost a close game the other night to the Suns.
Yeah.
Or last night, yeah.
Well, that was 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
I do actually pin that loss on LeBron. He
was bad.
There was 3 minutes left in the game, and he only had 7 points.
And then he came out saying he's been sick.
Yeah, since Friday at that point, or whatever. So.
But he balled out Friday, got a triple-double, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
so whatever. It is what it is.
Look-
But now the Lakers look fantastic. AD is an absolute animal. And we said this last week. It's like the Lakers are only going to be as good as AD is.
Yeah.
Like LeBron can do what he does night in and night out. But like AD has got to be the dog every single game.
And I think JJ realizes that and is pushing that. And I'm sure, honestly, I think LeBron's probably okay with that because he's been wanting that type of player on his team running with him for quite a while, and obviously AD and LeBron have been playing together for a while. But, now with JJ running the show, like a lot more ball movement is going to be
It's a
going.
different vibe. And JJ's also doing something. He's got something to prove too.
Dude, Austin Reeves, though, man.
I love Austin Reeves, man.
Yeah. He is showing up.
Mr.
showing out.
Consistent.
Just all of the
And he's not just a shooter.
No.
Like, he's complete opposite of what J.J. Redick was. J.J. Redick, I mean, J.J. Redick was fantastic in the league, but he was a spot-up shooter.
Yeah.
AR can do everything.
Yeah, he can drive, get defenders' attention. I mean,
Good ball handler, too.
Don't kill me, but he seriously does remind me a touch of Steph Curry in the way that he runs the court and runs players to death, drives,
Oh, yeah.
kicks out, shoots. I mean,
Yeah. No, AR is really fun to watch. And he's a DWB. You remember what that was? DWB? Dirty White Boy?
dirty white boy.
He's a dirty white boy.
Yeah.
Certified. He might be the team captain of DWBs.
Well, hard not to be when he's one of 2 on the team.
Yeah. But no, they look great. I'm glad they're starting off like this. We got another long season. Basketball. Anything can happen.
How much longer do you think Bron's got?
If they win it this year, he's probably done.
I agree.
And if they don't, still might hang it up. Depending on how the season goes.
I really do feel like this might be the
As long
year.
as he doesn't have like any serious injuries,
Yeah.
I think he probably still got 2 more years left in him.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this might be the year.
I hope so.
He's following Saban's footsteps.
That's true. They did have the same.
Every time that one was in the championship and went in, the other one was too.
Well,
Well,
if,
yeah, not-
if Bama can make a run and get into the playoffs, we know LeBron's got a bright season ahead of him.
Well, Saban's not there anymore, so that doesn't count.
I'm sorry, I said Bama.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll stay trending.
Right.
We're going off of basketball again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alabama basketball starting up. Preseason ranked number 2. That's the
Deserving.
highest they've ever
been.
ever.
And they are deserving. Looked great the other night.
Yeah, they played right down the road.
Yep.
against Memphis. Didn't even realize it, but they look really good. I know they played Wake Forest the first preseason game or exhibition game. Won that one. Played Memphis the other night. Won that one pretty good. I'm excited for this season.
Dude, we got some straight dogs on the team.
Got Grant Nelson come back. Mark Sears came back.
Yep. And then some, true freshmen coming in.
Some transfers that we've never heard of.
Some freshmen coming in that were originally committed to Auburn, and then we decided to.
They had an Auburn transfer come in.
Yep.
But they got this guy from Rutgers. They got this guy from Rutgers, and I'm going to hope I get this name right. Clifford Omarui. Clifford Omarui.
Yeah, you're close.
From Rutgers. Bama, it seems like they finally got a big man who can be the big man. Down low. Play bully ball, get the rebounds, block shots, be a monster in the paint to take pressure off of Grant Nelson and Mark Sears on the outside. Watching that game the other night against Memphis, seems like they got an anchor that they can rely on down low.
No, they do for sure. This probably will be, after the run they had last year, making it to the Final Four, this team's better.
Oh, hands down, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we got another big, and it's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, and there's going to be a couple other guys that we are not quite familiar with yet that we'll probably fall in love with down the road.
Yeah, that are shooters. As good as Bama was last year, they really didn't have shooters, for real.
They just lived and died by the three, regardless of who they are. But
I think this team is the one to look out for sure.
That way, if Bama football doesn't pan out and go the way we want it to, we still got basketball.
We can hang our hat on Alabama basketball, baby.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. The first game is Monday.
Yeah.
Against UNC Asheville. But Bama's got a tough schedule. I mean, outside the SEC, I know they got Houston, they got North Carolina, they got Purdue, they got Creighton again. So they got really tough games, early in the season
good,
to really
though.
set the tone.
That way they can actually see where they're at.
It helped them out last year.
They
got
did.
Tough out-of-conference games last year. It got them calloused up for the conference play in the tournament.
Yeah.
So I'm extremely excited for it. We got our top. Did you do 10 or 5?
I did 5.
Okay, I did 10.
Okay. I did a list this week, though, so I deserve a little bit of credit.
That's better.
Yeah,
That's better. I thought we decided on 10.
We did, but
Could you do 10? Could you do 5 more off the top of your head?
I could.
Okay. What you got?
All right, so we're going to roll on for Halloween candy. So this is our top 5 for Halloween candy, or top 10 for Halloween candy. Nothing for me personally is going to be a good old fashioned just chocolate Hershey bar.
Okay. Is that coming in at 10 or 5? 10 or 1?
That's number 1, brother.
Number 1's your Hershey bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a simple man. I like just chocolate.
Okay.
We're going to roll out with the caramel Milky Way next.
Okay.
So it's your normal Milky Way, but it's got caramel filling on the inside, top tier. We got the Reese's Pieces.
Okay.
We got M&M's.
Yep.
And then lastly, probably that Milk Duds for my original top.
See, I didn't
5.
have those on there.
Yours
But
is
Milk Duds are my go-to theater.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, and I always get excited when I see
And you can eat on Milk Duds for 20 minutes.
Yeah. You get stuck in your roof of your mouth and teeth. Yeah, I get pretty excited. Obviously we're not old enough, or we're too old to trick or treat anymore, but we have kids, so we just steal.
What's good for you? You got 3 kids.
I got 3. All of trick or treating age at this point, and it's just we've got so much. So we've already done a couple little trick or treating things. We have enough candy before we even go trick or treating Halloween night.
Oh, we're probably going to reissue.
Oh yeah,
tomorrow night.
No, this is our back. We've got a backlog of candy now to where if we start running out, handing out.
Because we got candy on the shelf from last year, still from Halloween. We do. We don't obviously eat it, but it's just we just hoard crap. So yeah, the candy
You're a big Costco guy.
The candy that the kids got, this past weekend and up to tomorrow, some of it's probably going to get filtered into the bucket for the kids that come trick or treat at our house tomorrow night.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah. So my candy list, I did 10. So I'm gonna go from 10 to 1. I got candy corn.
Oh, candy corn. That's my honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Yeah. Candy corn, you got to put it on there because you really only see it come around.
Actually,
a lot of people hate candy corn.
like candy
I never got into it.
I think it is really good.
You only eat it once a year.
Yeah.
It's the only time it ever comes around, and it's It is what it is. It's not great. It's not terrible. There's way worse candies out there.
I mean, I'll eat it.
I'll eat it too.
Yeah.
Then number 9, I got the Tootsie Pops. Then I got M&M's at 7. Then 100 grand bar.
Those are fire.
That's Hershey, right? Hershey makes
Yes.
100 grand
Yes.
more?
Yes.
I guess so, yeah. Yep, those are fantastic. Put them in the fridge. So, do you stick all your chocolate in the fridge?
I'll stick. Not yet. Some yes, but the best is a Reese's cup.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Shelled Reese's.
Yeah. So, all right. So, number 6, I got Butterfinger. Got to go in the fridge immediately. No. Butterfingers?
Dude, I'd rather be the guy who said if FSU loses this game, I'll eat a cup of shit.
That's true.
I hate Butterfingers.
That's
I don't know if I've
wild.
ever tried one, to be honest.
What is happening right now? You Simpsons, I swear.
Yeah, we're the weird ones. It's 2-1 right now.
Well, Justin's not in here to back me up anymore. All right. So, whatever. 5, I got Nerd Balls. The Nerd Balls, not the Nerd Rose. I always
The
forgot.
little licorice things with the
Nerds on
them.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome. We eat those year round.
Yeah, those are pretty fire.
Then number 4, I got Skittles. Then Sour Patch Kids coming at number 3. My favorite are the watermelons. Y'all ever had the watermelons?
Oh yeah.
Those are by far the best Sour Patch Kids out there. Then 2, I got Reese Pieces. And then the GOAT of Halloween candy is Reese Cups.
That's always the best to find in the sack. When you get
Yes.
home, you grab those first.
You go Reese's Pieces and then Reese's Cups.
Yes.
Those are just the same thing.
I'm
No.
surprised to not hear Snickers on either of y'all's list.
Yeah. You put Milky Way in.
You've never had the caramel Milky Way, clearly.
Isn't that all Milky Ways?
No.
Yeah.
It shows
No,
what I
Milky Way has a nougat filling, and then the caramel Milky Way has a full.
I thought they were all caramel.
No.
Or I'm surprised neither of y'all said Kit Kat either.
That or Payday. I didn't
I
put
hate
Payday
Kit
on the
Kats.
list.
Payday's really good.
Yeah.
No, Kit Kats,
And Kit Kat's delicious.
they wouldn't break the top 100 for me.
Wow.
We didn't have Twix either.
I said Twix.
You just say Twix?
Yeah.
Oh, are you a left Twix
I'm
guy
a
or a
left.
right Twix guy?
I'm a left.
Those are the dumbest commercials.
I love it.
Oh.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
Reese Cups are by far the best.
Let us know what y'all in the comments
Yes,
think.
please,
are,
put in your list.
Yeah, what's your top 5? What's your top 10?
What we get right, what we get wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like my list is more right. And I did 10. We're getting better though. You're getting there. You made a list this time.
Look, there's only one list and one name on it, and you might need to be wary of that at this point in time. Okay, keep it up. Keep it up.
Hit list?
Yeah.
You gonna put me on a hit list? Nobody wants to be on that list.
Anyways, thank y'all again. This was episode 3. Keep checking us out. We hope to do better each week. So we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people hit us up saying they really like what we got going on. We're still going to try to get better episode by episode. We couldn't do it without your support from our families at home letting us do this. We thank you guys. We love you. And like Preston said, we hope you keep tuning in. If there's any specific topics that you want us to talk about, please let us know. We will try to get that in.
Like and subscribe, please. It may not help you. You may not care, but it helps us. So just hit
Even
that
if you're just
subscribe.
scrolling, you see us on the feed, just hit the like. You can keep scrolling for all we care.
Hit that like and subscribe. Help us out. All
Yep.
right.
All right, guys. See you next
ya.
time. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll credits.